Hi, I'm Lissa Alexander from Moda Fabrics, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about Moda jelly rolls. Moda invented jelly rolls. They're 2.5-inch wide strips of collections, and there's 42 in jelly roll. So every year, the third Saturday of September, we have National Sew a Jelly Roll Day. That's coming up, and we're busy working on projects for that. But I also wanted to show you a little ruler that we make, a little template that is exclusive to Moda Fabrics and available through your quilt shop that makes a half hexy. So I'm going to show you how to cut that and why you need that and all kinds of other tips. The pattern that I'm going to be talking about is Tiddlywinks, which is a free download on Moda's site as well as in shops, and that's the quilt here. I'm a big starcher, and people ask, do you starch pre-cuts? So the difference with jelly rolls, starching, a lot of people don't want to starch pre-cuts. Don't starch charm packs or layer cakes because they shrink in different directions. The width of the fabric is okay. Here's exactly 2.5 and 2.5, and nothing has changed. The length of the fabric, this is how much it has shrunk, just a tad bit. So this is my non-starched one. I'm not going to use that one. So what I wanted to show you today on this template, and I'm going to go ahead and use this particular strip to cut with. I've got lots of little step outs to show you, but the trick to cutting this, very easy to cut up and down, really is sufficient, but what's so nice about this is if you cut the little angle off, it's going to eliminate you having what I call dog ears. So you would continue to keep working your way up and down this strip until you're completely done. I have actually 2 different sets of these. This particular one, I did not trim my dog ears off, and I want to show you the difference when you're wanting to sew them together. You do have something nice to line up against, but you always have this extra dog ear that you need to trim off. But if you've used the ones where you've trimmed off the dog ear, once you sew them together, they line up just exactly straight on the top and the bottom, and you're able to sew through to that. It's a minor difference, but it's much neater and tidier in the long run. So then you take, and you're going to lay out how you want your little shapes to go. So I'm going to work row to row here. And the only really part that's tricky about this is since you are working in rows, you're going to need to match up the pieces to actually create this as your hexagon. So I'm matching this one to this one. The next block won't match, and then the next one will. So it is a little fussy to just lay it out, but I lay out several of these rows, and then I'm going to chain sew those together. So if you'll join me at the sewing machine, I will show you how to do that. This is where I chain sew it together. And the main reason I do that is so that I don't have to iron and worry about which direction my seam allowances need to go. And I'll show you that in a minute. But here is row 1, and here is row 2. And I would continue doing that with as many rows as that you're comfortable with. Then, just again, paying close attention, I'm going to come back in, add this guy. And again, it becomes pretty mindless, but you do want to pay attention to making sure that you're picking up from your stack, and you can tell that each time you're minus one more fabric on the stacks. By chain sewing, I have all these little threads that are keeping my rows together. So once I join them into rows, it's very mindless that you don't have to pay attention to what goes next to each other. And I usually do about 10 rows at a time, just depending on what your space is and how comfortable you are to chain sew. And then my very last corner piece. So that is 2 rows ready to sew together. So let me show you a bigger chain piece that I've made. So here is 4 rows put together, and see how they're strung together with the thread. That way you don't really have to pin and you don't have to pay any attention. I have not ironed anything or pressed them, and now I'll put them right sides together, and really I just flip the seam allowance. So this first one, I always try and do it to be going downward because it's going to go down through my feed dogs, and I'll just follow along all the way down to that one. Once I sew it, I open it up and add the next. So join me back in the machine and I'll whip this up. Again, if you're particular about how things are pressed, then this is really nice not to have to press each thing. It's very, very easy to get this whole entire project out of order, but I'm just gonna send 1 seam allowance up and 1 seam allowance down. And because these are both going at the same angle, you don't shift the seams at all. So there is 2 rows put together. Double check, match, 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 match. My next one that I'm joining together is only going to match here in the middle. The strings are like straight pins and are holding it together. And now I can tell that this seam allowance, all of this is going to go down while the one underneath it goes up. If you want to pin, you can. I just use my finger and kind of hold it in place. And so from one seam to the next, just straightening it up and making sure, especially if you've chain sewed several together, you want to make sure that nothing has got, caught underneath and that you've accidentally sewn more pieces together. And the 4th row. This template is perfect for jelly rolls, but also it works great on charm packs, and one of the girls here has sewn pretty much similar to this same quilt, but she has done the whole entire quilt as nothing but the half hexies. So she's used scraps from her jelly rolls, scraps from different charm packs, and so this template does, even though it's named jelly roll, it doesn't have to only be used on jelly rolls. So without having to pay too much attention, here's all my hexagons in place. And then I would be ready to continue and add more rows as I go. So working down the list, the count's I think 32 rows. I also then trim up the edges, and you can follow along more for all the directions in the pattern, which is a download, but that's Tiddlywinks, and the fabrics I chose are kind of a mishmash of all of Ann Sutton's line. So I've used a couple different jelly rolls in this particular quilt. So join us 3rd Saturday of September for National Sew a Jelly Roll Day. This is just one of the many Project Jelly Roll patterns that we have. We'll have lots of new ones this year, including a jelly roll tote bag. So that's going to be super fun. Be sure and download these off of Moda's website, or be sure and ask for them at your local quilt store. Join us as we roll into Project Jelly Roll Day, 3rd Saturday of September every year.